Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you have not seen my major announcements video, please go watch that first. I will link it up here with the little eye, and I will also link it down below. You guys have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you've already seen that video, you know that I am moving to Pittsburgh. Woo! I'm gonna put some cheers. Yeah, it's great. So when we went to Pittsburgh, we like looked around and saw some apartment things, and so I learned maybe like 3 major tips about apartment shopping, and so they're on my phone, so give me 1 second. Excuse me. So the first thing I learned was do your research ahead of time. So it makes no sense to go to a city and look at apartments that you know you already don't like. So for me, I know I'm taking my dog, so I only looked at pet friendly apartments. Make sure you look online, make sure you look at reviews. Just do your research ahead of time, so when you go, you're not necessarily blindsided. Basically look up the neighborhoods, not just on like one website. I would suggest using like multiple websites. So I used apartments.com, and I also used Zillow, and I also used Apartment Finder, just because each website had like little different pictures and different views of the apartment complexes, which I needed because I didn't want to live in like the hood. I didn't want to live in somewhere that was too busy for the dog, like because he's going to be home by himself sometimes. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure I lived in, you know, like somewhere that I would be comfortable, like somewhere that's pretty suburban but up and coming. There's still like new stuff around, there's close to the grocery store. So basically do your research ahead of time. Make sure you MapQuest, or like Google Maps, I think it's what people use now. I don't really use MapQuest anymore, but that's what I call it. Make sure you look at like how far your apartment is to where you're going to work, or how far it is to the grocery store, how far it is to the gym. Make sure you're looking that stuff up because you don't want to live somewhere too far. Also, with the 3 websites I suggested looking, because sometimes the rents are different on the websites, and so that's a good way to like gauge the rent, because the rent probably isn't going to be accurate online. So it's just good to get a good gauge. Number 2 is definitely go see the apartments. Okay, before you sign any online lease, before you fill out any paperwork, go see it in person. Okay, because there was an apartment complex that I loved online. I was like, this is it, this is where I'm gonna live. It's close to school, it's close to the gym, it's close to the grocery store. This is it. Bet. We went and viewed it, and first of all, they didn't have AC, even though online everywhere it said they had central air. No, they had those like boxes that you put in the window, and then on top of that they had like, I don't even know how to describe it, but they had like these things along the walls, like an updated heat radiator along the bottom floor, like along the baseboards for heat. So it wasn't even like, so it was no central air and no like regular heat. And like for me that wouldn't work, because like I have a dog who's gonna be home all the time, and so he could, I don't know if you guys can hear him walking around, but he could definitely like burn himself on them. But online you don't see none of that, because online they have one building that had central air and like regular heat, and I was like, this is misleading. But I never would have known that. I have the hiccups, sorry. I never would have known that had I not gone in to see these apartments. So definitely go see these apartments before you sign anything. Just because it looks good online does not mean it's gonna look good in person, because some of the neighborhoods just looks like amazing online, and then when we went to see them, like it was sketchy. Okay, sketchy. And Tanisha doesn't do sketchy. Okay, so make sure you go see them in person. Number 3, which is something you should probably do ahead of time, but set a budget. Make sure you're accounting for your utilities, food, gas, anything like that, how much it's going to cost you to take the bus if you have to, all of that sort of thing. Make sure you account for that, because you don't want to be spending all this, like if this is your money, you don't want to be spending this much on rent and then only having a little bit left to spend or save. So that's what I did initially. I looked online to see how much my stipend fellowship stipend was gonna be. I think I said that wrong. My fellowship stipend, how much that's going to be, and then I kind of budgeted out from there. And then it turned out it was a little bit different than how I budgeted, but thankfully I had budgeted like the less amount, so I was like making like not a lot of money. And so I budgeted for making like little to no money to make sure that, you know, even with me getting the stipend, I don't want to be spending all my money on rent. And, you know, I want to go out, I want to have food, I want to, you know, go to Panda Express every day. Just kidding, not every day, but, you know, some days I want to, you know, enjoy those things. So I made sure that my budget had enough cushion with my rent to be able to do the things that I want. Number 4 was ask a million questions. So when we went to visit, some of the apartments didn't have appointments. So when you go to visit, make sure you set appointments ahead of time before you go. We didn't do that. We did it like the night before. And some places couldn't see us, but that was fine because the places that couldn't see us weren't necessarily the places we really liked anyways. So it kind of worked out for the better. Ask a million questions, because like you won't know unless you ask. And like even before you sign a rent or before your lease and before you even sign the application or anything like that, make sure you get all your questions answered. And then if you don't, make sure you reach out to them, the like leasing people or whatever. They are so helpful. Like, and sometimes I felt like they were trying to like cushion the answers, but I was like, listen, I need to know the straight and narrow. Like, how much is this really going to cost me? Like, how much is my rent gonna be? How much is utilities usually run around here? How much is cable? How much is the security deposit? How much is it to get security installed in my apartment? Like, all of these things are like really important to me. And so I made sure I asked them so many questions. Like, that was the biggest thing. And the girl, one of the ladies was like, oh my gosh, you're asking so many great questions. Normally when like college kids come in and try to rent apartments, they're not asking the questions, and sometimes you forget to mention these things because they don't ask the questions. So be sure to ask the questions that you want to know. And number 5 is make sure that the places that you're looking at are places that you would really want to live, if that makes sense. So some of the apartments were cheaper, but I just didn't feel comfortable. Like, you have to make sure that you're comfortable where you're apartment shopping or where you're going to live. Like, that is a major thing because you're going to be living there. So you don't want to, you know, like live somewhere where you're not 100% comfortable, where you feel like you have to like get a gun and sleep with all your doors locked and make sure you have like extra security. Like, you don't want to have to do that. So make sure that wherever you do decide to go, make sure that you're comfortable there. Like, that's the biggest thing. And number 6 is a bonus. Make sure you ask to see if they have any deals or discounts, because some places, like depending on when you start to rent, they will prorate your rent. Which I learned is they will adjust your rent for how long you've been living there. So like, say you move in like the 15th of August or something, they will only charge you for the 15th through the 30th or 31st of August. So make sure that you ask about that. Sometimes they will waive the security deposit or the application fees for you. Sometimes they will waive like pet fees. They'll have specials going on. So make sure you ask about those things too, because yeah, it's expensive out here in these streets. So just make sure you ask those things too. And I think that's pretty much it. If I forgot any tips, or if you have any additional tips, leave them below in the comments. I would love to read them, especially because like after this year's up, I might be moving again. So any apartment hunting tips would be so great. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. I love you all so much. Bye.